Should we make a chickenosaurus? Now, hold on. Before you start laughing, let me ask you some questions. When you think of dinosaurs, what do you think? What do you think? You think of giant lizards with big teeth, big hands, big claws, big tails? Well, you're kind of wrong, dude. Dinosaurs were really very similar to the animals of today. Dinosaurs were colorful, they were smart, collected animals, had families. In the grasp of 120 years, they perfectly adapted to our field world. So why do we see them as big dumb lizards, when most dinosaurs were actually feathered and resembled modern birds than they did resemble chunky crocodile kangaroo creatures, as seen here. So you're probably saying, dude, why do you need me to see this? I just want to see memes that are gonna go stale under half an hour. Well, it's because you'll need to know about dinosaurs for what we're going to talk about. And you'll need to know, most is, that dinosaurs still exist. Just not the cool ones. You see, we now split the dinosaur family, Dinosauria, birds and dinosaurs, friggin' dinosaurs, man, into two separate groups, avian and non-avian dinosaurs. Non-avian dinosaurs are any dinosaurs that don't come from an ancestral dinosaur perfectly engineered for flying. This is measured by stage 5 pennaceous feathers, meaning, in layman's terms, it's the cool dinosaurs. If you don't have stage 5 pennaceous feathers, you are not an avian dinosaur. Avian dinosaurs are the ones that have stage 5 pennaceous feathers, or flying feathers. All these birds come from a single common ancestor, almost like the Galapagos finches. So why do we need to know this? Because you have a quiz in 15 minutes, now get out your papers. No, it's actually because I'm totally going to confuse you and say that all avian dinosaurs came from a non-avian dinosaur, which makes all non-avian dinosaurs avian dinosaurs, and all avian dinosaurs non-avian dinosaurs. Soak that in for a second. Okay, good. Let's go. Moving on. Okay. What I mean is that all birds came from a dinosaur, right? Well, here's the real ball. When an animal evolves into something new, it doesn't always delete those genes, just in case it'll need them back. This is called atavism. Atavism can be seen by primal genes being shown in an evolved organism, such as snakes with feet, people with hair and tails, and people on Facebook. I'm just kidding about that last one, because I actually use Facebook. Anyhow, let's move on. Anyhow, a paleontologist legend by the name Jack Horner has decided that he wants to create dinosaurs. First they tried the Jurassic Park method, extracting DNA, but it didn't work. Why? DNA has a lifespan of only 2,000 years or so, not 65 million. But then, the paleontology renaissance. When people started to realize that dinosaurs and birds are the same, they started to realize dinosaurs and birds are the same. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Think about it like this. Atavistic genes are a light switch that is turned off. All we need to do is turn it on. The only problem is that light switch has 1,000 locks, all coded under a military encryption, furthermore written in a foreign language and trapped in a box of Louisiana fried chicken wings. You see, we just need to find out how to activate those primal genes in a chicken, because a chicken has a full blueprint of a dinosaur inside it. Our legend here, Jack Horner, wants to go inside a chicken and turn these genes back on. Now, I lied to you a little bit. Some genes have been destroyed, such as the allele, or the allele as most people call it, for enamel inside of a chicken. We can give it teeth, but we can't allow it to live with teeth because the gene for teeth is lethal. That means it kills the embryo. For the genes we can't get from the chicken, we'll be gained from others. The process which scientists use to do this, well, there's 5 actually, but we'll only be focusing on 2. CRISPR, Cas9, and transgenesis. Transgenesis is when one particular organism's DNA sequence is placed into another animal, like spider goats and glow pets. CRISPR-Cas9, well, it's very similar to that, but all the more than that. CRISPR-Cas9 is the literal copy and paste tool of the DNA sequence, meaning that you can take one part of the DNA sequence and put it, literally practically shoving it into another organism. With all of these hard to process things in mind, what is the chickenosaurus project? It is how we are going to genetically mutate and hybridize using these methods to turn a chicken into a dinosaur. We are actually really close. All we really have to do is figure out a non-lethal way of creating the teeth. All we really have to do is figure out a non-lethal way of creating the teeth, and how to use CRISPR-Cas9 science to create a saurian tail. But should we create one? Well, that's a very hard question. Why? Because it's not just one question you ask, it's several. Just in that one question, should we? There is a philosophy and there is a reason that we could go either way. This is an experiment. This is an experiment built majorly off the fundamentals of human education, as Jack Horner explained in his TED Talk. It's made for the reason that Jack Horner says, "I want a pet dinosaur." Also, throughout research, we have found many cures to rare diseases, and we have learned so much more about medical science from creating a completely new old animal. But apart from that, there really isn't much to support this ethically. Don't get me wrong, I would love a pet dinosaur. The 6th grader in me is wetting himself right now. But is it right? Well, in Jack Horner's words, he says, "Controversially, science isn't always about whether it's ethical or whether we should do it." Jack explains a philosophy after this about how he thinks this is wrong by saying, "If there isn't a God, then how can I be playing him? And if there is a God, why would God have given me this knowledge if he didn't want me to use it?" When it comes down to these facts, however, many baby chicks are dying from these experiments, whether it's lethal genes or not fully developed experiments. Jack Horner claims that he will not hatch any of the eggs until he has a feasible chickenosaurus. This is also all very new, and because we don't fully understand the science we are using, we can't understand the long-term effects of these actions, meaning that if we use this power incorrectly, we might just end up being on the wrong end of a Jurassic Park.